Welcome to the Roaming Yeti podcast, where we share stories and tips to inspire you to roam your neighborhood and the world. I'm your host and head Yeti, Beth Scalacci. In this episode, I speak with Lisa Dean to get an insider view of the City of London. Lisa has lived in London for over 25 years, where she works in commercial real estate as a market analyst. She says at this point she feels more British than American, as she's lived there more than half of her life. Are you ready? Let's roam. Hey everyone, I wanted to welcome you back to the Roaming Yeti podcast. Today is sort of a new format we've done. We're actually talking to, I'm going to say expert in their location, but rather than speaking to someone who's traveling to a location, we are talking to Lisa Dean, who has been living in London and can sort of give us that insider view. So I'm really excited. So Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, hello.
And we have what is it, 5-hour difference is what it is?
Yes, it's 5 hours, so it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. I think it's morning there.
Yes, I'm notorious for messing up time zones. So I've been on calls wrong times more times than I want to talk about, but I got this one right, and we are here. So Lisa, how long have you lived in London?
I've been in London for about 20, 25, 26 years.
Okay, so that makes you an expert, I feel.
Well, I'm a citizen now, so I should be.
That's really amazing. And obviously you what is the thing okay, so you and I met in college. So what is the thing that has kept you there all this time?
I would say that London for me has everything. It has the history, it has culture, it's very vibrant. It's, there's so many opportunities here. There's a famous quote from a writer called Samuel Johnson that says, when a man tires of London, then he is tired of life. And I totally agree with that. I think I can't imagine living anywhere else.
I mean, that's a what do they say? Chamber of Commerce quote right there.
Yeah. It's been used many times, but I know it's corny, but I totally agree with it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think it's beautiful. I don't think that's corny at all. I think that's beautiful, and I think we should all strive to live someplace that we feel that way about. So, I definitely wanted to get into, as people are traveling over to London, and what are the things that they should definitely what are the don't miss, should do kind of items?
Well, I think that there's so much to do in London. There's so much history, and it all depends on the visitor themselves. But I think if you were to break it down into different topics, so for the views, in London, there's so many great places that you can go to see the cityscapes, etc. So there's the view from the Shard. The Shard is one of the tallest buildings in the UK, 7th tallest, I think, in Europe. And it's got a viewing platform on the very top, so you can go up there and see all of London and enjoy a glass of champagne and everything like that. Then there's another place that was recently built called the Sky Garden. It's on top of 20 Fenchurch Street, which has a funny nickname called the Walkie Talkie, because it looks like one.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
it's the same shape, and it's London's highest public garden, so it's really unique. It's free to go to, and as a result, you have to book in advance to go there. But there's a full garden built on the top of the building.
Oh, cool.
And There's restaurants up there, and in my opinion, I think maybe the view is a little bit better than the Shard because it's a little lower. But still, it's an amazing place to go. And of course, there's the London Eye. Everybody knows that. And there's several parks which have protected views in London for the views, and that's Greenwich Park and Hampstead Heath and Primrose Hill. Those are amazing for the views of the actual city centre. And of
Very
course, for history and the royal family, you have to go to Buckingham Palace and see the changing of the guard. Highly recommend that. There's a lot of show and to go along with that in history. So highly recommend that. There's the Tower of London and the Crown Jewels. The Queen has her own art collection, and I recommend going to that gallery. It's called Queen's Gallery.
Oh, okay.
And even Hampton Court is a really beautiful place. King Henry VIII lived there, and William and Mary of Orange also lived there. So it's got two different sides to it. One is the Tudor side, which is King Henry VIII's side. Then they refurbished it at one point to look more like Versailles on the back of the house.
Oh,
And it
wow.
opens up into really beautiful gardens that are fashioned on Versailles.
Very cool.
And then, of course, all of the churches have to do with the royal family in the history. Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral, places like that I would highly recommend going to.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, you can keep really busy.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours.
Right.
But I think for me, the views are the most important.
Yeah, it's a beautiful architecture to take all in. And as far as the touristy things that people think of, like, is there anything in your opinion to skip, or are you like, give it a try?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say that there's a lot of things that I don't go to, but
Sure.
that's my personal opinion. But I think that it's such a big city. There's so much to see. I think there's something for everybody here, and I think you should try it at least once. And if you don't like it, then at least you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we haven't been in, I think it was 2000 maybe. We were there, and we really enjoyed. We just got like jumped on one of those double-decker hop on hop off buses, and
Yeah,
just
highly
sort of,
recommend that. Helps you to get your bearings, to be honest.
yes. Yeah, we definitely were like, oh, okay, this is where things are, and you could see a lot
Yeah,
more. And we were sort of just stopping through, and it's yeah, it was a cool way to see a lot of things. But I'm always like, are we like being super touristy doing this, or?
I don't think so. I think London's so big that you really do. You need to understand where things are. Sometimes you think that it's further away than something is further away than it is, and actually, you can actually get off the bus, go to see it, and then walk to the next one because it's so. And if you've been on the bus, then you would know.
Right.
That you don't have to get in a cab or take the tube or whatever.
Would you say a lot of the city is walkable from area to area, or?
Yeah, I think so. I love to walk from the West End, like from Bond Street station. You walk down towards Embankment and then cross the river, and then you're in the South Bank. That's probably it seems like a really long way, but it's actually like a 30-minute walk.
Oh.
So if you enjoy walking, you can get to most places in, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. I wouldn't recommend walking from one end of the city to the other, but
Sure.
which I've had to do during tube strikes, but But
Oh,
really, it is walkable. You can just get out and walk in some cases,
that's
and it's
cool.
more enjoyable because then you can see the architecture, you can see what's happening on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and that sort of brings me the other thing you can see when you're walking by all those places is food.
Yeah.
No conversation for me about any location is complete without speaking onto about any kind of food. So, um, and I think people have a super bad misconception about food in England. So I'm gonna let you clear that up for us.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Well, when I first moved here, it was shocking. It was not the best, but 26 years we've moved on, and I think that London is a really food lovers city. It's a real foodie place. I absolutely love it for the choices of food. You can get, from Nigerian to Indian to Italian to American. That's whatever you want, you're going to be able to get it here. I think that some really great places to try are Borough Market.
Okay.
That's a very famous market in South London. It's got a lot of food stalls and restaurants and places where you can buy artisan cheese and buy vegetables from the greengrocers, etc. It's a great place to go. Lots of atmosphere. Um, Chinatown, of course, is a great place to go for Chinese.
Okay.
And Brick Lane is famous for Indian food and curries. Spitalfields Market is one of London's oldest markets, so it's a great place to go again to soak up some atmosphere and see really great food stalls and restaurants and try lots of different types of things. If you have a big wallet, you could go to the Wolsey restaurant. It's very famous. It's on Piccadilly. It's
Okay.
next to the Ritz. Famous for breakfast,
Mm.
and the Ritz is famous for afternoon tea, which is a lovely thing to try if you're in London. You don't have to go to the Ritz. You can go to lots of different places. You can have a more cheaper one, but still lovely. And there's just all kinds of fun places to go. There's a place that's in Mayfair that has a church that was been refurbished, and it's called Mercato Mayfair, and they have different pop-up restaurants
Oh,
inside the
cool.
church.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like 3 levels, and they're on, each level. You can go up to them, decide what you want to order, and they make it for you. Then they call you. They've got like a little buzzer, and you can go up and get it. And then in the altar, they have the bars, which is great. It's amusing.
Gotta have a good sense of humor about stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds, yeah, I mean, it's
There's
so
so much.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a yeah. Don't believe the stereotype. There's so much great things to eat here.
And I mean, because there's so many things, like, do you feel like there is a specialty food in London now, or like,
Well, I can tell you one that is very, very special to London and not necessarily to England or the UK
okay.
itself. And I can't say I've ever had it. When I lived in the East London, when I lived in East London, I used to see these shops all the time. They're called pie and mash shops,
Oh,
and they serve just that pie. So it's going to be like minced beef, or um, I think it's just minced beef and mashed potato with gravy. And
mm.
then they also have jellied eels in liquor, which is like a parsley sauce. But then they lost me at jellied eels, so I never tried
Yeah.
any of that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, the pies and mash, definitely, but jellied eels, interesting.
So it's very, very London. But of course, fish and chips and some really great places to go to are the Seashell in Lisson Grove. and the Golden Hind in Marylebone. Those are really famous fish and chips places. Of course, a roast dinner, which has roast beef, Yorkshire puddings, gravy, all the other stuff. And the UK national dish is, funnily enough, something called chicken tikka masala, which
Okay.
is an Indian inspired dish. I think there is an Indian chef came to London and he created this dish. Of course, you can't find it in India because it's too mild. It's not as spicy. So it's for English tastes, but it's very nice. I'm vegetarian, so I like paneer tikka masala. So paneer is a type of Indian cheese,
Oh, okay.
and they put that in curries a lot as well. But you get chicken and all kinds of things.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds. I've heard of chicken tikka masala. I'm gonna butcher that. Sorry.
No, you said it right.
Okay. I had no idea that was a UK dish. Like that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
yes, and it's very funny. I don't know if it still is, but it certainly has been for a long time. The UK national dish, everybody loves it.
Interesting. Because I know we have it here in the US, and I just,
Yeah,
made poor assumptions. Now I know.
it's definitely not specific to India. That is
Gotcha.
for sure.
So since you are our insider, like what are some best kept secrets that we can share? Like, yeah.
Okay. I There's a place in the city of London which I've always loved to go to. It's be great for your Instagram or whatever account because it's so beautiful. Better to go in the summer when it's not raining. It's called St. Dunstan's and it's in the city, and it's a ruined Sir Christopher Wren church. So it was bombed during the war, but it's got beautiful plants growing and very atmospheric, and it's really lovely to go there. Don't go alone because you'll be there with some people that you may not want to be there with.
Gotcha.
But it is nice. It is a lovely place. It's very quiet. So it's off um, it's off Cheapside. So it's not on the main road.
Okay. So that's a
Um,
good
there's a
take a buddy
Yeah, take a buddy
location.
with you, but it's totally safe. I
Yeah.
promise. um, the Wallace collection is an amazing art collection. It was owned by a private collector, and he had a house in Manchester Square, which is in the West End, and he basically converted his house into this amazing art museum. And of course, it's
Wow.
been left to the country. It's amazing. All of the rooms have wallpaper of the time, so richly colored. So you might be in a beautiful red room, then you'll go into a beautiful yellow or lilac. It's really lovely.
Oh, wow.
And of course, the art is amazing as well. He also has military collections of helmets and armor and swords and all kinds of things like that as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's a well-rounded collection.
Very nice.
And I love to go to Tate Modern
Mm.
Art Gallery. They built a separate gallery to the main one a few years ago, and there's a viewing platform on the top of it, and so you can see out towards St. Paul's. You can see towards the Shard and the East London and Canary Wharf, etc. And they have a fantastic bar just under there, which serves the best gin and tonic, in my opinion. So it's great to go have a nice gin, look at the views,
Perfect.
while the afternoon away.
Sounds like a delightful afternoon for sure.
But yeah, so many things to see. but those are particularly lovely places.
Very nice. So if you didn't have any responsibilities for a weekend,
Mm.
um, and that meant you wanted to leave the house, because if I don't have any responsibilities, I might just be I just might be tucking in. Um, but what would you go, how would you spend your weekend? I feel like gin and tonic is on that list, but
Yeah, yeah, yes, it is. um, I mentioned it before, walking from the West End down to the South Bank is a real treat, to be honest. South Bank, I think if you speak to a lot of Londoners, a lot of them will say that they love the South Bank. Beautiful views of St. Paul's in the city, and just it's a wide open pavement, so you can really enjoy yourself. You're not all crowded in like on Oxford Street or something like that.
mhm,
And it's just nice to walk along. There's plenty of pubs to stop for your gin or a glass of wine and a lunch. Just enjoy. And then I also like to walk once I get down to the South Bank, then walk over from St. Modern to St. Paul's. And you can go to the square there is called Paternoster Square,
mhm.
which is also nice for a tea or a snack or whatever before you go home. Um, Walking is a real theme for me. So I also like to go to um, like a favorite museum and just wander around and see something that I haven't seen before.
Right.
And usually you're not far from a park, and then just head into the park and walk through there and enjoy it. Because London was so lucky to have so many beautiful parks. Um, so yeah, that I'd say that or go to any of those amazing views that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite season of the year? That
Hmm. Um, it's funny because I would say until recently you couldn't really tell the difference between the seasons.
Okay.
In it was always wet and cold, and occasionally some sun. But this last summer we had really hot temperatures.
Mhm.
So I'd say probably spring and summer are really lovely because of the flowers. Regent's Park is a beautiful rose garden that you can go to, and the smell is so heady
Mm,
and beautiful.
wow. Yeah, it's funny
It's,
because it is I you do it is sort of, I guess, rainy and but it's not always. Like, I think that's a bad stereotype too of it, right?
oh, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I I never leave my house without my umbrella. Never.
Okay. There you go. That's have to remember things to pack. Umbrella and raincoat.
Something
Oh,
warm to wear as well.
yeah, layer. I'm assuming layers is a good thing for sure. Um, and are there uh, good places to shop, like some favorite places to shop that you can find something sort of maybe out of the ordinary, or
Yeah.
small businesses to support, or are there?
Well, definitely. Where I live is great.
Mhm,
It's called. I live in Ealing, and it's they have this amazing high street, this little um, high street that's won like best high street in the UK award for several years. It's called Pitzhanger Lane, and they have a lot of small independent shops and restaurants. And it's hard to believe it's in London, to be honest. It's like a little village.
oh, cool.
That's really nice. And I would also recommend Covent Garden is a nice place to go. They have a lot of market. They have a market stall there and a market inside the actual Covent Garden area that sells like artisan gifts like jewelry or pottery or whatever. And that's a nice place to wander around. If you like books, I would recommend Daunt Books. They're all over London, but there's a really great bookshop from Daunt Books at Marylebone High Street. It's like a oldie worldy bookshop with dark wood, and you can just get lost in there. It's really lovely.
You could spend the perfect weekend there.
You could. What would be best if they had a gin bar inside? That would be good.
Then you could just
And
live there, but
they'd never get rid of me. That's the problem. That's probably why they don't have it.
I love it.
There's some really great places that have been renovated or refurbished. The Battersea Park Power Station is one of them. A lot of people will know it from Pink Floyd and very famous album cover of this giant inflatable pig in between the chimneys.
Yep.
But they've rebuilt it. It's now shopping mall destination, and they have kept a lot of the original features of the power station, so it's pretty incredible inside. They have a lot of luxury brands there, so I was very impressed when I went. It wasn't your usual shopping center with all of the chains and stuff like that. It had something different about it, and they have great restaurants and bars around there as well.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I think that's sometimes the surprise in the few times I've been to other countries, and I'm like trying to find the the more independent shops, and you go down these and it's just like all the stores that I see in our malls, and I'm like, no, I want the like I want the local
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I think you have to probably get out of the city center in London if you want that. It's you can go to up near Hampstead Heath. They have wonderful independent shops and restaurants, etc., as well on their main high street there. It's you just have to go to a place outside of the city center. You're not going to find it there.
Right. That makes sense. So is there like the quintessential souvenir to acquire in London? In your opinion, I mean, I know there's
Yeah,
a lot of things, but like what would be a very cool thing to bring home?
I think probably a proper English tea. Um, Sorry to say this, but the tea in America isn't very good.
I don't think anyone's going to argue with you on that.
So, if you have a tea lover or somebody, there's so many places that have loose leaf tea that they sell, specialty tea shops. Yeah, really nice places that you can get a special type of a tea.
Right.
I think would be good. Of course, there's biscuits, maybe that kind of thing. You can also get like really nice gifts from the royal palaces. Any of their gift shops are
Okay.
really lovely. Any of the museums can have really unusual gifts that are related to the exhibitions or the collections that they have. So they might have Egyptian jewelry or something like that. So you can always find something a little unusual at those places.
Yeah.
But
It's
whether it's a
amazing.
perfect souvenir of British things, I don't know.
I don't think it always has to. I think it's something that maybe you can't get
Yeah.
elsewhere necessarily, or that it brings back to me it's always something that brings back
Yeah.
the memories of
Yeah.
the trip. I know when we were in London, I picked up a copy of it was the first Harry Potter book, but it was, oh gosh, I'm gonna get the name wrong because I'm not a Harry Potter person. Sorry, everyone. Um, but
Is it the
be-
Sorcerer's Stone? Is
yeah, I
that
think
it?
it's the
Something like
Sorcerer's
that? Yeah.
Stone in America, but it was Philosopher's Stone,
Oh,
I
that's it.
believe.
That's the Philosopher's Stone. That's it.
Yeah. So I bought the British version, and it's so to always see that and it
Yeah.
in that proper like Harry Potter language,
Yeah.
like that was a really cool souvenir for me to always, see it on the bookshelf and
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, so it's I always want people to like don't just think of the typical things. You want things that you
Yeah.
see down the road and go, oh yeah, remember we stopped in that museum or we stopped here or
Yeah.
um kind of thing. But yeah, I think those are some really great ideas for people to look for. Um Getting around in London, one you have to look left, right? Look left first, right? No,
No, it's
look
you
right.
look to the right.
Look at the right. See, this is why I almost
Otherwise, you're gonna get hit.
this is why I almost got hit 20 times when I was there. So remember to look both ways.
Yeah.
But like what I know it's very walkable and that's a great way, but like
Mm.
it's the underground, the tube, the
Mm-hmm.
underground. Um, is that pretty easy to navigate for people? Is that a good way? Should they look at ride share? Like if if walking is a little too far, what's sort of our second best
Yeah,
option?
I'd say definitely use the tube. I use it every day. It gets a bad name for people think it's dirty, people think it's hot, people think it's crowded. Um, it's definitely crowded, but it's something to it's going to get you there. You're not spending the whole day there.
Right.
So, and there's often like less than 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes between stops anyway. So you're going to get there quicker if you need, especially if you're late or whatever. I would recommend taking a bus as well, a
Okay.
double-decker bus. Very British thing to do. And it's kind of fun to sit in the front seats like a little kid and in the front window and see where you're going. Um, There's also a boat that you can take. I think now it's called the Uber boat, but in the days that I used to use it, it was the Thames Clipper.
Okay.
And it's great. You can sit back, relax, see the sights from the river, and you can stop, and it stops off regularly, um, all the way from Westminster down to it's past Greenwich that it goes to Woolwich, excuse me, and even west down the Thames past to Westminster. So you're going to get a great experience there, seeing different parts along the river, and plus it's going to be less crowded.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who like to take the bikes
Oh,
that you
okay.
can rent. You just put in your debit card, rent a bike, or there's some electric bikes as well. All I can say is be sure you can ride a bike confidently in the city because it's not for the faint-hearted.
Right. It's not like in your neighborhood
No. Remember, you have to negotiate roundabouts with traffic
on a bike.
on a bike. Absolutely.
The boat it is for me.
And I would recommend a black cab. I know that a lot of people like Uber and that kind of thing. That's not for me. I do take black cabs. I think it's a nice experience. Cabbies are always very chatty,
Mm-hmm.
and they know so much about London. They'd be able to recommend lots of things for you.
That's cool. Like so not only you getting a ride, you're getting a little tour guide as well.
Yeah, you could even get their political views if you get into that conversation.
And hopefully you don't disagree too much or you'll end up at where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Like get out now. Okay, sorry. Um so we definitely talked a little bit about like an umbrella, a raincoat, something
Yeah,
warm. Obviously comfortable shoes
definitely.
with walking. Are restaurants and stuff, do you need to dress up a little bit? Are they more casual? Like what? I mean, you know how Americans dress,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I think that most places that the average tourist is going to be going to, like a pub or a deli or pizza place, you don't need to worry about it.
Mhm.
I'm sure there are places like the Ritz and even the Shard. If you're having dinner there or lunch, you're not allowed to wear jeans or in trainers. You have to wear at least wear a nice pair of trousers, nice shoes. You get away with it. They'll let you in.
Cool. So that brings, so what is dress etiquette for a proper high afternoon tea? Like,
Oh, I'd say, yeah, get dressed up
okay,
just for yourself to
right.
enjoy the experience because you know, it's fun. Eat your little cucumber sandwiches and have your tea and scones and things.
Sounds delightful. Um, I think we've talked about a few of these, but what I feel like there's a lot of things that are truly authentic to London, but sort of what is that one that one thing that sort of sticks out most as truly authentic to London and nowhere else?
Well, I'd say just like in New York, you need to go to the West End, go to a show. It's world famous for that type of entertainment. Um, well worth it. Um, like I said before, take a take a double decker bus, take a cab, go to the pub, go to these things. These are all very London, very English things to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up West End because I think um, everyone looks to Broadway as the
Yeah,
originator of all
yeah.
these things, and so many shows start
In
in
the
the
West
West
End, yeah,
End
yeah.
and then
There's a
come
lot.
here.
Like right now, Matthew Modine is starring in To Kill a Mockingbird. So there's a
Okay.
lot of Hollywood stars who do come here.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot that you can see and some familiar faces as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people equate it to like a touring thing. It's like, no, it's where
Oh
a
no,
lot of stuff a lot
yeah,
of stuff starts
and
and a lot of people come over
mm,
to star and it's
and,
cool.
definitely since COVID and everything like that, I think they're struggling. So it's good to try to help out with that industry because it would be a shame to lose it because it's such a integral part of London, I think.
Yes, definitely. Um, well, this information on London, like I'm ready to book my flight. Um, we were supposed to go last summer, but we're gonna try to get over there again. Um, so now I just have a few fun questions, which I did
Okay.
not send to you.
Yep.
I don't say rapid fire because they never end up being a rapid response. But so here we'll go. What would if you're going on a road trip, what do you pack? What's your favorite road trip snack?
Oh, well, I'm a big crisp eater. And England has lots of nice crisps. So, and that's potato chips.
Right.
That's what I'm
Do you have
talking
like a
about.
flavor that you like more than
Yeah,
others?
I'm a bit boring. I like the just ready salted, but salt and vinegar as well is nice. But a
Very
very
nice.
English one is cheese and onion.
Oh,
It's very, I think it's similar to sour cream and
okay.
onion, or is it
That makes
onion,
sense.
sour cream and onion?
Yeah, sour cream
Yeah,
and onion.
yeah.
That makes sense. What's your next planned vacation or trip if you have any?
Well, I don't have anything planned, but it's definitely something that's been on my mind. I've been wanting to go to Florence for years. So I'm hoping that this is my year to go to Florence finally. See the David, statue of
Sounds.
David. It's what I want.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be cool. Um, Do you have a favorite trip you've ever taken?
Yeah, I'd say that anywhere in Italy.
Okay.
I adore Italy a lot. Um, yeah, it's
Where
just
in
it's
it, have
beautiful.
you had any cities specific that like have your heart?
I'd say Venice,
Okay.
Venice definitely, and Rome.
Hmm.
And I've been to Sicily and to Sardinia as well. They're just amazing places.
Yeah. Yeah, we visited my husband's family in Sicily one summer. I do not recommend Sicily in July. It's probably the
It's a little warm.
probably the hottest I've ever been in my life. Um, but it's gorgeous. Everyone should go to Sicily, but oh, don't go in the summer.
If you go, make sure you're by the beach, by the water.
Right, or a place that has air conditioning because
Yeah.
his aunt's place did not, and it was we were boy, we were spoiled American roasting away. Um, do you have a favorite travel tip that you can share with us?
I would say try to pack as light as possible, and just bring a good book, lie back and relax.
There you go. Um, and do you have any like if you take a trip or something, do you have a playlist, like a travel playlist, you like certain artists you like to have on there, or are you an audiobook or a podcast listener? Sort of what's on that travel playlist?
Um, I'm gonna be really boring, Beth. I'm sorry. I just watched the movie on the on the airplane. Uh, no, I don't know. I don't bring a lot of music to listen to.
Hmm.
I guess because I'm out and about, wandering about. I don't always listen to music a lot. So
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
think because
sorry.
in no, it's fine because I think in Europe traveling's different than here because we drive so many places, so we have more of a road trip playlist
Yeah,
kind of thing because we're in the car. Um, you guys have nicer transportation, like you have quick flights that don't cost a fortune, and you have trains, and so it is a different way of traveling as well. So so that definitely definitely
yeah.
affects it. But this has been great. I've really enjoyed all your insight. I know everyone will get a lot of great information from that. So I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Lisa for sharing your insider tips on what to do and see in London. And thank you for listening. I hope these episodes inspire you to get out and roam even in your own neighborhood. Please subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you like what we're doing here, please leave a rating and a review. Also, to help support us, please head to yeti2shop.com to buy some Roaming Yeti merch. Talk to you soon and keep roaming.